Perfect. We are recording. Haha, maybe it's going to work. So, good morning to Friday. Amazing. Another week done. And isn't Monday? We can meet 4 people. And so we're starting this transition into another phase. And who knows, this phase may be slightly more difficult to navigate and to negotiate than the other phases. Up until now, it's been easy because it's been like clean. Lockdown and no choice. But now as things start to transition, who knows, it'll be kind of a bit more unknown and we'll be finding our way. So I just say this in terms of being aware that the roller coaster that you were on in the beginning may reoccur. It may occur in a different way. And also just to kind of give you an idea, I was thinking that I hadn't maybe given you a picture of what we're doing and how we're doing it. So in the beginning, when we first went into lockdown, we started this, we kept a very solid sequence. The sequence was exactly the same all of the time. And that was to remove choice. It was to help us feel safe. And it was to really ground us, because there's so much unknown, so much insecurity, so much fear when we first came into lockdown. And so having a really rigid daily practice that you just go to at the exact same time, do the exact same thing, and there's no choice, there's no decision to be made. Decisions are kind of hard things to make, especially first thing in the morning. And if anybody has little kids, you'll know, don't give kids too many decisions to make. Don't ask them what they want for breakfast. Ask them, do they want cornflakes or Rice Krispies? Well, hopefully you're not offering cornflakes or Rice Krispies, but keeping it very simple, particularly first thing in the morning. And that's what we did. We really had a solid, identical practice. And then as we got into lockdown and it kind of became our norm, see how quickly it is for us to develop new norms and to develop new habits. And so we kind of became a little bit more comfortable. Our nervous system settled down a bit, and then we could play a little bit more in our daily practice, and we could sort of go into particular different areas, and I could change instructions on the fly, and you could follow them or not follow them, and it didn't jar on your nervous system so much. Now, next week, when things start to change and start to loosen up, again, just be aware that it's kind of going to flit and flop. So you might think you're going to do something and someone might say no. It's hard to hear no, someone, as different people interpret this unwind in different ways. So again, just be really gentle with yourself and know maybe you don't even want to go out in the big bad world yet. And maybe it's like there's a big bad world, whereas like it's grand, it's lovely. But be with all of those emotions as they come and as they go. And so with that in mind, I just invite you to come to today's practice and just see what's present now. So as you land, just be in your body. Because your body will give you so much information. And so just be with it for a moment. And then in your own time, finding your breath. So notice that your breath is breathing you. There's no effort required. It's just breathing you. And then look to slow it down. So consciously change your breath. Pranayama, where we consciously train the breath. So look to slow it down, and we slow it down by working with the exhale, just exhaling a little bit slower. Let the inhale do its own thing. And then let's see what it's like to maintain that type of rhythm as we move. So as you move, your heart rate is going to increase, but and your breath will flow with it. But see what it's like, if it's possible, to move so that you maintain this slower breath, which may mean a lot of slower movement. I don't know, and it may not be possible at all. But if it's something that's of interest, you play with it, see what happens. And so with that in mind, See about transitioning, and even notice your breath in the transition. You'll notice that it's not so easy to transition and maintain a slow breath. So yesterday we played with finding release lying on the ground. Today you have a choice. You can do it standing, you can do it lying, although you've already transitioned to standing, so probably not. And just release, wriggle. Check into the fingers, into the shoulders. And when we're looking at here, this kind of the way we're doing yoga now, as opposed to before where I used to stretch out, we're kind of coming into it and then from in going out. So if there's a particular area in your body, if like your hip feels a little bit tight, tighten it a little bit more, going in first. And from there, see about expanding out. So rather than just going, oh, tight hip even, and stretching out, see what it's like to go in first. Go into the stiffness, the tightness, the restricted, the pain, well, maybe not pain, but, and then come out. And from there then, whenever it suits you, whenever you're ready to move into the flow, come to the top of your mat. And we transition from movement to stillness. And see what that's like. When you come to stillness, can you feel your feet? Can you find your feet? Can you notice each of the toes? Or do you feel a big toe and pretty much nothing else? Can you like play, do you remember in the piano, like you had a piano, can you see if you can play the piano and press each toe down? Can you do them individually? Can you do chords? Or is it like the kids, bong, bong? Not sure that I can play chords with all my toes, but two kind of work together. I've got two sets of twos. So see anyway how it is for you. And from there then, from feet, heels, arch balls of the feet in the ground, coming up through the legs, coming to this beautiful, neutral, tall stance. Inhaling into the tall stance, opening up a little bit. Exhaling, rolling, curling, curving as much as you can in as many bits and as many parts as you can, so that as you inhale, you open. So almost like, I think of it like Tigger almost, you know, I'm in Winnie the Pooh. From my feet, up through my legs, boing. See how many Winnie the Pooh fans got that reference? Opening out. Exhaling. Coming back down, curling down. Now we have a little bit more going on muscularly. We're doing more than just curling into it. We're now going a little bit deeper. And again, here comes a Tigger moment. Feet into the ground, allowing that rebound, that spring, come up through the legs, through the pelvis, through the spine. And maybe opening up a bit more. If you want to come right onto your toes, if you want to open your arch, your back. And reversing back down. When we come down this time, we're going to stay down in flat back. So the Tigger movement only comes from the feet to the pelvis. And then that continues, the energy flows, but to bring you to a flat back, not so much a Tigger movement. Exhaling, and we're folding again, closing in the belly as we exhale. And from here, stepping back into our lunge. I'm playing in high lunge for the first round because I know I have a second round coming and I can play in low round lunge then. And so I'm looking to get this fluidity of the hips coming forward and back. Hands on the ground, knee on the ground if you want to, hands on the ground if you want to. I want to look at the camera, so I need to also, I'm coming up. And then whenever you're ready, again, back foot. The rebound from the back foot, the Tigger spring from the back foot, coming up. And you're into forward fold. Take a moment now in this forward fold. We've started to warm up a little bit, so you may release a little bit more in this forward fold. Remember, we have this stretch response. So if you just try to stretch, your entire body goes, no thanks. And that's our protection mechanism. So as you start to warm up and as your body starts to trust, and as you don't look to stretch, you look to lengthen, to release, find release rather than stretch, maybe a little bit more comes for you here today. When you're ready, back through squat and coming on up, including a back arch if that's for you today, and back to prayer. When you're ready, let your breath settle. So if you've lost your breath, wait till you recapture it. And then inhaling to length, exhaling to roll, inhaling to open. We're warmed up a little bit more now, so into full back arch if that's what you want to play with. Exhaling, coming back down through your squat, into your flat back, from flat back, back into squat. You'll have great legs at the end of this lockdown. Stepping with the other leg. And so we're into playing with lunges again on this side. I'm staying high, but you can put your knee on the ground. You can have your hands on the ground and just hinge forward and back. And see how smooth now. How smooth can you make this movement? How much easier is it now than 30 or 40 days ago when we started? Again, when you're ready, you're sitting back towards the back heel. So the weight is going through the back foot, and then allow that ticker bounce spring you forward into forward fold. Have a little ragdoll moment, and then bend the knees and come on up. Back arch if you're interested, if it's interesting to you, and back to prayer. Let your breath settle. Next time we're going to go the whole way, but don't forget we stopped to plain lunge. Inhaling to tall, exhaling to roll. Inhaling to reach and open. Exhaling, coming down through your squat to your flat back. Inhaling, exhaling back into the squat and stepping back for your lunge. This time, knee to the ground, untuck the back toes. And here we're going to play in this low lunge. So see what it's like to allow yourself come forward into runner's lunge. See what it's like, the same movement, but tuck the back toes. Does that change the energy in it? Untuck the back toes and now straighten the front leg. So you're heading back almost towards sitting on the ground, on your heel, not getting there. Toes out straight. Then switch toes to come to your nose. Ooh, hello. Feel the ligaments, tendons, and muscles in the back of your leg. Coming forward one more time. Now notice the back knee as you roll forward and back across the knee, the back knee. If the back kneecap is not so comfortable, tuck the back toe, lift it, and then replace it. Or pad it up. Double the mat under it. And then we're going to come to what we call dragon pose. So from dragon pose, unhook your arm. So your arm, your two hands come to the center, the foot comes out, the leg comes outside. And then release the knee to the side. The weight is going through the hands, the knee is going out, the sole of the foot is looking up at you, wiggling at you. See how that is. Bringing that back to center. So the knee is now at top of the ankle. And here you have a choice if you want to see what it's like to come onto your elbows, if that's available to you. Maybe one elbow, maybe with the blocks or your support, whatever support, if you wanted to raise the floor, and then coming back up. Last one on this side is where if your hands can reach the ground, so if you're comfortable with the hands reaching the ground either side, you can then straighten out that front leg. Only do it if your hands can reach the ground, because you don't want weight going through that leg. If you're you don't want weight going through that leg. And then see what it's like. Releasing, letting go. But you've got control now through the upper body. So you've upper body strength building while you're releasing, only if it's comfortable. How do you get out of this situation? Take your butt back. Take your butt back. And then you'll be able to hinge forward, so you're into that natural low lunge that we know and love. From low lunge, hands on the ground, because we're coming, tuck the back toes, we're coming into plank. Stepping back into plank. How is your plank? From plank onto your belly, laying your body down whichever way suits you. Shoulders away, neck long, toes away from you as you raise into cobra. Little cobra. And then if you want to continue with what we were playing with this week, you're going to continue this movement. So onto the hands, and now really deeply engage belly. So you come back to all fours this way, different to what we were doing before. Releasing into hare. And from hare into dog. Playing in dog. Just going to get a hair bump. Play in dog. See what it's like to be in dog. First dog of the day, so walk it out. Enjoy it. Whenever you're ready, stepping with the right leg, meeting with the left, through your squat, reaching for the stars, and back to prayer. Noticing how it is. Let your breath settle. And then we do it all again on the other side. Finding your feet. Inhaling to come tall. Exhaling to roll a little bit, so that as you inhale, you're opening up. Exhaling. Forward fold. Through your squat to flat back. From flat back into your squat again. And this time stepping back with the left leg. And so again, we're playing in our lunge. Back knee to the ground, untuck the back toes. Initially allowing yourself just come forward, so the knee is overshooting the ankle, so be stable. Make sure you're stable in this. You can have hands on the ground, or if you want to open up, you can have the hands in the air. From here, we're reversing this, we're changing it. Coming back, like you're sitting back on your heel. Toes out straight initially. Then taking the toes up. Ooh. So see how that experience is. Then bringing the toes back to the ground and coming forward to our normal lunge. So knee and ankle in alignment. And from there then we're playing into this dragon pose. So allowing the knee out to the side, bringing the hands to the center. And then if you're capable, if that's okay for you, if both hands fit in the ground, allowing the leg to open. So simply allowing that knee to come over, which means you will see your foot, the sole of your foot. Dragon pose. There's some students that love this pose. Some students that hate it. weight is through the arms, though, very important. Bring that knee back up. So now you're back, foot flat on the ground. And then see what it's like to come onto your elbows, or if you've got blocks, you can come onto the blocks or the books or whatever it is you're using, if you're using something to raise the floor. Letting yourself come down. Pausing at that for a second, and it might be that one elbow comes down and the other elbow doesn't, typically the one away from the... But just let yourself be, breathe into it. Releasing that back up, and then either staying at this front lunge or letting the front foot come out straight. So you're looking to straighten both legs a little bit, but only if you can hold the floor. It might be floor, it might be. And then just letting that be for a moment. From here, your back knee's on the ground, you're bringing your butt back towards your heel. That's going to bring your leg in for you, thank goodness, because how else would we get out of it? Once the foot can come on the floor, you're back into your normal low lunge, your square low lunge. From your square low lunge, tucking the back toe so you can step into plank. From plank, laying your body down. Long, long, long cobra. Length. And then once you're complete in cobra, engage your belly and bring your belly up. And so you're into tabletop. Take a half-second pause in tabletop just to acknowledge you're there, coming through into hair. Long arms spread, hands in hair. And then tuck the toes and come to dog. Have a little moment in dog. And then when you're ready, we're coming to the ground from here. I'm playing with this idea of crossing my legs, sitting down, and then rolling onto my back. But you find your own way. Find what's comfortable for you, what works for you. Once you're on your back, have a little side roll, little twist, and then rolling yourself back up and coming to seated. Find a very comfortable seated position. See what feels good for you. God, time flies when you're having fun. Taking that breath in and sighing it out. And allowing the breath lead you. Coming to an abdominal breath. Allowing your attention follow the breath. Transitions, they're so cool. And so I invite you to notice. Notice how many times do you make yourself wrong? Or do you make other people wrong? Even during these last few moments of stillness, what visitors came, what thoughts came, what emotions came that you made wrong? How many times do you say don't to yourself? We've kind of come into this way of thinking that it's right or wrong, it's good or bad. If it's not good, it's bad. If it's not bad, it's good. Trump is bad, someone else is good. And I'm wondering, is there a third way? Is there a third option that's neither right or wrong? That doesn't have to, that can go beyond right or wrong, good or bad. And that we can break out of this habit of judgment, of comparison. The thing is, we can't change what we're not aware of. We can't change what we're not aware of. So I invite you today or over the weekend just to notice. If you do start to notice how judgmental you are, guess what? You cannot be judgmental about being judgmental. If you're not willing to take it like that, then don't play this game. And let me tell you, you will be judgmental about being judgmental. That's just the way it is. So have a bit of a laugh about it. Have a giggle, go, wow. There I was judging. There I was noticing that I was judging. There I was judging that I was judging. It's like those Russian dolls. So let's see if we can just dive inside and have a bit of a giggle on the way. And so I invite you to set an intention for yourself for this weekend, or for today, or for this moment. Breathe that intention into your body. Sigh it out. And we bring our hands together to close the practice. And we bow, offering peace. Om Shanti.